Hey friends, welcome to Monday Motivation. I am so excited for this upcoming week as we launch our second week of this Advent series talking all about peace. How Jesus Christ, the Son of God, has come and He's dwelt among us. God is with us and He is called the Prince of Peace. We see in Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6, that His name shall be Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, and Prince of Peace. I don't know about you, but do you lack peace in your life? Are you fighting for peace amidst all that is going on in culture or in your life relationally? Maybe you feel a battle with anxiety or fear or insecurity, and you're just wrestling for peace, and maybe you feel like peace isn't even possible. But thanks be to God, because of Jesus coming to dwell amongst us, peace is possible. In fact, the Prince of Peace Himself dwells amongst us, and we can have a personal, intimate relationship with Him ourselves, which is an amazing hope that we have. For me this Christmas, one thing that I have just been marveling at and dwelling on is about the power that Jesus has to bring peace into any circumstance of our life. When we read in Mark chapter 4 about Jesus crossing the water with the disciples, and we read about this massive storm that came up, and Jesus is sleeping in the boat, the disciples are terrified for their lives. I learned something this week that I never knew. Because of the geography of the Sea of Galilee, that kind of moment literally could have happened, where fishermen who have been on the water for their entire lives are terrified for their lives because of the waves around them. What I learned this week was that the Sea of Galilee actually sits a couple hundred feet below sea level, and it is surrounded by mountains. So when a storm comes, that wind can come into that valley, and it can become like a wind tunnel that goes very fast and very strong. And waves have been known in the Sea of Galilee to get as big as 10 feet high, maybe more. And so just imagine you're in the middle of the night, there is a huge gust of wind that has come, and now waves all around you are 10 feet high, and you're in a 26-foot boat with 14 other guys or so, and you're traveling across the middle of the night. Just imagine, I can picture being one of those men and being terrified for my life. But in that moment, they wake Jesus up. And Jesus stands up and He says this in Mark chapter 4, verse 39. He looks at the wind and the waves and He rebukes them. And He says, "Peace, be still." And in that moment, the wind ceases and there is a great calm. That is just radical. Jesus Christ, God is clearly amongst us, and He is speaking, and the wind and the waves obey. And so it says, the very next verse in there is where it says that the men were filled with fear. And they said, "Who is this that even the wind and the waves obey?" Well, I've been thinking about this in regards to Christmas and about how Jesus has the power to bring peace into any circumstance in my life. And this is so encouraging because the Prince of Peace being with us, He has power to rebuke the crazy chaos of my life and to bring peace to me and peace to the circumstances all around me. And yet there are so many times where I try to fix my circumstances and I look at my own strength, my own willpower to try to solve the problems, and I'm filled with anxiety instead. But to live a confident, victorious life, I need to look at the Prince of Peace Himself and utterly depend upon Him. So it says in Isaiah chapter 26, verses 3 and 4, it says that you keep Him in perfect peace, the one whose mind is stayed upon you, because He trusts you. Trust in the Lord forever, for God the Lord is the everlasting rock. This verse is so practical and so powerful that if I will get my eyes fixated upon the Lord, and my heart trusting in Him, Jesus promises perfect peace. So peace is possible. Whatever you're going through this week, friend, and this Christmas, let's get our eyes fixated on the Prince of Peace Himself. Let's celebrate the peace that we have vertically with God and the peace that is possible amongst us relationally and internally. Jesus Christ is the power source of peace. And I pray that this Christmas you will be so strengthened and so encouraged that He is the one that can bring peace, and He can do it with a word, the same way that He calmed the storm in that moment with the disciples. Friends, let's win the week. I can't wait to see what God does. Here we go.